Hey there, folks! Welcome back to the Fireside Writing Advice stream. I am your host, Remy McNeil, and joining me, as always, is the immortal Mollie Rhymemaster. Mollie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Today's hat is Tri-City Valley Cats, formerly of the New York Penn League minor league baseball. I don't think they exist anymore. They just reshuffled the baseball leagues. But that is today's hat. I have tiny Weiss ears always, and there is a hard 5 p.m. cutoff for the stream, so that is why we are starting a little early.
I thought.
Yeah, 5:30. 5:30 cutoff.
I can't open with this link. No, editor, copy link. There we go. So I'm not sure how much we'll be able to get done. We have 2 hours flatly to do this, and I do like making offhand remarks and the like, and we have 11 people we need to get in. Actually, that reminds me. Brief cutaway. I need to ping everyone in the tundra. At everyone going live. Boop, boop. Boop. Oh, yes. Anyway, so, before we even get into things, because we always have these little brief beginning segments, what the hell is hope punk? When did we have to start labeling, oh, hopeful stories are hope punk? No, motherfucker, that's not how that works. That's not how that works at all. It's a hopeful story. Like, you don't need to make it its own genre to be hopeful. Why do you need to do that?
It's about hope. I mean, you could use it like derogatorily. I would say like Ruby Volume 8 is hope punk because like it's a hopeful story but with no basis in that hope. Like there's nothing to make you hopeful. The protagonist caused all the problems and it's not good. Like the result has not been good.
Well, no, I think I was like looking it up. And it's like the examples that have been given, it's an excuse for bad writers to say you don't like hopeful stories.
Yeah, basically.
And then, like, I do love that there was that post in the Tundra that was just so great. It's like, oh no, it's not hope punk. This is the most hopeless situation you could possibly have.
It's annoying because there's a lot of people who will be like, oh, you just don't like happy stories. That's not the thing. I love stories that have good happy endings, but it has to feel earned. Like, the ending of Ruby Volume 8 is not happy or earned. I guess they earned it by being stupid, but, like, the repercussions aren't going to be talked about.
My argument is more deserved in Volume 8. The ending
It's definitely more deserved, but, like, it's not hopeful. Like, the protagonists acted like complete morons, and a lot of people died.
Okay. It galls me that people are trying to like make this like everything needs to be punk now. Like cyberpunk was the first, and cyberpunk is a very specific. It is a genre that has a lot of cyber technology and punk aesthetic. Like it's a very specific blend of the two. It's not just me. You can throw in everything. Everyone calls everything cyberpunk. I'm not surprised if at some point in the future someone's going to describe, oh yeah, Star Trek, that cyberpunk show. And it's like, no, Star Trek is not cyberpunk. It is the opposite of cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is all about the dystopia. It's not about, like, glim and glitter. It's about the decay of society in the face of new technology. It's a dystopia. That's what it is. Weapon punk, anime punk.
By the way, as far as, like, the hope genre, I also like Ruby fans. They're like, all Ruby rewrites just make it dark and hopeless. And, like, by that, they mean that there's conflict at any given point. There's consequences for actions.
Yeah.
Which, as we know, is only in dark, edgy stories. Like, I just wonder what these people watch. Even the most, like, banal thing, like a Marvel movie, the most focus-tested, banal story possible. That's how they're built. There is a problem that has to be fixed, and then people work together and fix it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I really much I enjoy a lot of the Marvel films, and they break down. They do break down very simply. There is problem, fix problem. That's how most storytelling is. There is problem, fix problem.
That's how fairy tales work. Hansel and Gretel get lost and kidnapped by the witch. They have a problem.
Hansel?
They defeat the witch.
Hansel? God, I never understood that joke, but for some reason it just catches me.
Like they get they get stuck in the house. They have to find a way out. They find a way out. They get home. Like that is just how it is. Like it's the most basic form of storytelling. That's why Ruby is so special because the reason why Ruby is special is not because it is bad writing. It is because it is not writing. It fails to write.
I thought steampunk was the first. I don't believe that's the case. I think it may have been around earlier, but it was never quite. It wasn't coined until later. Cyberpunk had a very clear. What was the story? I think there was a short story called Cyberpunk that basically kind of laid down what cyberpunk is. And it ended up just catching on, and that's where, like, I think Blade Runner is what began to popularize it. Ghost in the Shell, definitely. So but then on steampunk, it's weird. I can't think of a single really, like, solid steampunk story. Can anyone?
Lupa says, every fucking story ever has characters facing tough challenges and obstacles, and if it's a good story, it'll make you wonder if the characters will succeed. God, hope punk is so redundant. Fuck.
Yes, it really is.
Because the thing about, like, Ruby Volume 8, for example, is I'm not hoping they succeed. I don't want them to. They're messing things up.
I want them to end the... Like, literally, at this point, I am hoping that, like, Salem gets all 4 relics and the world just ends. Or we go full Ava and the world resets and, like, we can actually tell a good story in this setting.
Like, the reason why people like Volume 3 is because there was a problem and a fight and consequences that have lasted through, like, like lasting consequences. I mean, in theory, allegedly. Allegedly, allegedly Pyrrha died and there were consequences.
I do like you brought up, like, people were talking about rewrites being edgy. I just remember one comment on my Volume 1 fixing. And I was like, man, you've really made this dark and edgy for no reason. Ruby's not about that. And I'm just like, Volume 8, Volume 7, Volume 6.
I don't get it. People are like, Ruby isn't dark. And I guess kind of it isn't dark, but the thing is more that...
No, it's dark. It doesn't have weight.
Yes, it keeps playing with the idea of being dark. Like, it introduces a lot of dark concepts and doesn't really do anything with them.
It is the surface of darkness. It is a fine sprinkle of darkness along the top to make you think it's edgy and dark. But like
for example, Penny dying is dark, but like if it's anything like Pyrrha dying was dark. But that had no real consequence to it. It had no weight to it at the end. There's never been a point where they were like, I wish Pyrrha was here. She'd make this a lot easier.
Oh my god, I need to actually use that line somewhere. That'd be great.
When Penny dies, it actually benefits the situation because it gives the maiden powers to Winter. And she defeats Ironwood. If Penny didn't die, Winter would have died.
Which, hey, I'm all for Winter dying.
I've been for Winter dying for the past, what year is it? For the past 6 years?
The one that comes to mind is the video game Alice Madness Returns. Yeah, but that also kind of gets mixed up in, like, the whole, like, Alice in Wonderland fad. So it's like, I don't know. When you go in writer of Neuromancer.
Alright, let's get this started.
Oh, so steampunk and cyberpunk were coined by the same guy.
Interesting.
Nice. Neuromancer,
let's get this started. Can I have the Google Doc? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, so today we are writing. We have been hired on as writers, or more accurately, Mollie's been hired on as a writer for CW's adaptation of, let's say, a Pokemon story.
Awesome.
So, Mollie, I am a big-time CW producer. You're bringing to me your pitch for a CW Pokemon show. What do you bring me?
So let's go through Pokemon kind of as a whole. As far as the anime goes, most of it has stuck with a typical character of the week, problem of the week, solve the problem, reach the next city, so on and so forth. I find this to be very bland and redundant, so, I want to use a different type of story. I liked Pokemon Sun and Moon a lot because it was very focused on a nuclear cast of characters, mostly staying in the same place, and when they do move, they have people that they interact with there who can come back later. And it's very all connected, and I'm thinking we could use that, or we can go more the the fanfic route and create our own characters going through a dark and
whoa, slow your roll there, little miss. Do you think we're made of money? Create our own characters? Oh, please, no. We have to use established people. Come on. Like, no one's going to come into a show with new characters.
We'll use the Sun and Moon cast because I like the Sun and Moon cast. Now, they're all kids in the show. They're probably 10 to I'll say like Kiawe and Mallow are 13 or 14. They're the oldest of the kids. So I say we use them, but age them up 10 years because that really gives time for their traumas to marinate, you know?
Good, yes.
I think Lily is the big one. I say we focus on her.
Who is this Lily girl? Well, what's her story?
Lily was kind of the deuteragonist in Sun and Moon, who is the daughter of the main villain and ran away, basically. Now, are we doing anime verse or game verse here? I just want to be sure.
Oh, no, I mean, whatever sells.
Well, in the anime, it's more that her mom is very neglectful, then goes crazy later. In the manga and the games, the mother is outwardly abusive. I say we could use this angle because it really drives home the drama. And I think the big thing is going to be at the end of Sun and Moon's story, like that arc of Sun and Moon, regardless of the universe it is, Luzamine, her mother, basically goes catatonic, which means that she can't be the president of the company she runs. And obviously that means Lily is the heir because her older brother is like running off to be an edgy boy. So shy, reserved Lily has to be a CEO, and that's going to be so much for her. I don't know if she can do it.
Okay.
I think that should be.
Describe these characters to me physically. What do they look like?
Well, Lily is a little blonde girl in originally. So I say as a, an older kid, she should be like.
She should be black. She and her brother need to be black. I'm
sorry. The Boondocks of Revitiligo. It's the opposite of the thing Michael Jackson.
Yeah, no, but her mother should still be.
Hold on. I wish I knew actors because I would give an actor for who plays her. It has to be someone really tall and blonde. That does sell. Redheads don't, but blondes do.
Yeah, well, but a blonde, but we can make this. I mean, we could get like an extra angle on this with the racial issue, and we can start putting in like political.
No. It's okay. We'll get there. There are characters of color, as they say, in Sun and Moon.
Oh, that doesn't matter. We can always add more.
Well, listen, blonde sells. This is known.
I never said she can't. I never said she couldn't be blonde. We just give the actress a wig. Anyway,
I love how everyone's yelling at me to make Lily gay. We'll get there when we get there.
No, we're definitely getting there. You just wait till we get to the main character. All right, go.
But yeah, so are you writing this down or am I writing this down?
I don't know. I honestly, at this point, it's really just us shooting the shit.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we have to. Lily, is reserved, and of course, traumatized, PTSD! Exclamation points, because that's the only trauma reaction people ever have.
And then what's the brother's name?
Gladion, which is spelled like that.
But why is that motherfucker should be a Pokemon?
Because in Pokemon, all the main characters are named after flowers.
Oh.
Mallow gets turned white. Traumatized. Struggling with role as president of Aether Foundation. Gladion is a runaway, location unknown, also traumatized. Because I'm not even like joking. That's canon in the games and the manga. In the manga, Luzamine Lily straight up has PTSD. She has like panic attacks over how she was treated by Elizabeth. It's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah. Also,
so we're gonna ruin that.
What should Gladion have run away to become?
Male stripper.
I was gonna say YouTuber, but I guess same thing sometimes.
Okay, middle ground. OnlyFans.
Ran away to start.
Okay. He started as a YouTuber, and he fell on hard times because he couldn't get successful, so he started up an OnlyFans.
Started up an OnlyFans to cover for missing funds. Location unknown. Do I hear an amnesia arc?
No, we gotta spread out the bad among all the different characters. You can't have a second. Like, we'll give him a different amnesia arc later. I'll be like season 4 or 5.
Don't you know panic attacks are just lightly gasping for breath? No, she like passes out. She like starts uncontrollably shaking and passes out. From a flashback. That's a real thing.
From a writer's perspective, I wish I could experience a panic attack to understand what it feels like, to be able to better represent it. I want to be very careful with my words here, because I don't actually want to experience a panic attack. That sounds terrible.
It's like when people use the word dissociate, and they're like, I'm daydreaming, which is like dissociating, and I'm like, no.
It's daydreaming. It's daydreaming.
It's just a daydream, basically.
From how you guys
the
saw
sponsorship
about it,
from Rage Shadow Legends.
Has CW done anything good? I would argue that the early seasons, like the first 5 seasons of Arrow, despite some shakiness in the middle, are pretty good. Like 3 and 4 are kind of shaky, but they have things that can carry you through. But overall, the first 5 are pretty solid, and then the Flash season 1 and 2 are pretty good. After that, it starts to deteriorate.
Now, also just to point out, Ash is not present in this because he is off doing, whatever adventures he's up to, because he never stays in the same place for more than a year.
This is a sequel series. Okay, I wasn't clear if we're retelling or for sequel series in it.
No, this is a sequel. That's why there's the effects of the main story are still there. She also has very clear triggers, like with the idea of clothes shopping. Yeah, that's what that's what gives her the panic attack, is Burnett wants to take her clothes shopping. Again, this is really in the manga. Burnett tries to take her clothes shopping, and she has a flashback to Luzamine, like, tearing off the clothes that she chose out and forcing her into other clothes while calling her, like, hideous. And it's just like, oh.
Damn!
Okay. And then she like, passes out from it.
Pokemon getting real up here.
Pokemon manga's always been kind of insane.
Ash cameos. No, Ash is the season 2 tease. Actually, I'm gonna make that note. Ash as
season 2.
Season 2 tease.
Now, to get to the others, there's Mallow, there's Kiawe, Sophocles, and Lana were the rest of the main cast. Mallow owns restaurant business, because that's what, when she was a kid, she worked at her family's restaurant. So imagine she takes over because her brother's like a world traveling chef. So, by the way, Mallow's mom is dead. That is also a thing in the anime. Died of like cancer or something. So
Okay, so he needs to be grief stricken over that at all times.
Mom dead, trauma.
We should not go a single scene with him with Mallow present without.
Mallow's a girl.
I'm sorry, I don't know these characters. Again, I'm the CEO that knows nothing about the property that he's producing. We should not go a scene without Mallow being like, "My mom is dead."
Even though she seems like okay with it well, she's not okay with it in the anime. She just represses.
Well, she was a kid back then. She was a kid. She didn't realize like the full weight of it. And, like, she actually kind of blames her mom for things.
Why not just adapt the manga or something? Sounds like an easier template, because the manga is good.
Yeah, no, this is.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Sun and Moon was good. The Sun and Moon anime is really good, but the manga is too competent at telling a serious story for us to use it.
Are Pokemon going to be weird practical effects monsters or weird CGI nonsense? It's going to be a world without them because budget. Oh, that is a good question. We need to excuse away the Pokemon somehow, as much as possible.
That's true.
We need to basically limit, like...
Oh,
maybe there's a...
Where are the Pokemon?
Oh, yeah, that's the main season arc.
No. Hold on. I have an idea. So, increased tourism and climate change has reduced Pokemon populations on Alola significantly. Many are now protected. Kukui and Burnett, I guess. Let's see. They're adults. They're going to be grown-ups. They're not going to be interesting.
Who are Kukui and Burnett?
Kukui was their professor, who, like, their teacher, and Burnett eventually becomes his wife. It's great. I love them. They're the only good ship ever, actually.
Well, now we need to ruin it. Let's see. How can we?
All the Pokemon were drafted into the Pokewars. Dude, Pokewars is the OG edgy Pokemon fanfic series.
It's canon. Thank you, Lieutenant Surge.
It is canon.
Before we get too deep into it, let's not forget one of the characters' sexual assault trauma, because they are clearly able to handle such a topic with grace and care. Yes, no, we'll be getting to stuff like that.
I think Mallow should have it. Also has assault trauma.
You see, the problem is I don't know enough about... she doesn't know enough about Little Witch to really make it work. I know enough about Pokemon to make this work. All she knows about Little Witch is that I shipped Diana and Akko to a fault.
That is literally all I know.
And I just know that if she ever watches it someday, she's going to be like, yeah, that's good, but I don't really see it, Raymond. And I'm like, I'm going to be, oh. Not interesting, but they're married so we can ruin it. Infidelity, divorce. We might... Okay, so we're at the forefront of CW progress. All right, we are pushing progress like we've never seen before. Do we want to go?
Okay.
Do we want to go even darker with Kukui and Burnett? Do we want to?
No, I have something more progressive.
Oh, what?
Polyamorous relationship, obviously.
With Lusamine.
Relationship. Ooh, well, Lusamine is catatonic, so that won't work.
Well, I mean, it's the CW. It'll work. Like, they entered her dream somehow and did that. I don't know. By, like, the polyamorous relationship. Well, I'm just saying, like, at the forefront, like, do we want to, like, who is the most likable character in this cast? That wasn't a child.
They were all likable. I won't lie. Burnett's super likable.
I'm just trying to think of, like, who could we ruin the most with a outright character assassination? Like
Kukui.
Kukui. I was gonna say like
Kukui, who's just a good, wholesome, honest man.
He abused his position as the professor to lead kids into the back room. That dark shit.
As professor, etc.
Yeah, we'll leave it vague.
Kiawe, let's see. He had a farm, so it can be like family farm out of business due to increased demand for land from not immigrants. Well, I guess immigrants. I try to think, like, if you move, like, I guess you could immigrate to a state.
Oh, yeah, no. He's a big Trump supporter. And we can make him antagonistic towards the main cast.
No, it's like people coming in from other countries and building, like, vacation homes or something.
Wait. What does he look like?
I guess he's supposed to be black.
Then no, we can't make him a Trump supporter. Never mind.
Yeah. But he can still be pro-business. Because, like, I have something else going on. Like, this is going to get deep. I've really thought about this. Pro-business. Here's what's going to happen. So, Lily is struggling with her role as president of either foundation. But there is an option for her. Faba, former Aether scientist, imprisoned. However, there is a campaign to free him in order to further the progress of the Aether Foundation and put it on a global stage. Doing so could increase Alola's autonomy and give it the power to not bow to the demands of foreign, what's the word? Foreign nationals, I guess.
Why not make some obscure polls in the Hawaiian politics? Look, if we're going to have people arguing over why they have the nicest beaches, I mean, no, I kid. I know that Hawaii has way more complicated politics. Wow, we have 40 viewers. Damn.
It's the opposite of what Michael Jackson is. I'm glad people caught the Uncle Ruckus joke. Man, the Boondocks was so good. Let's see.
Oh no, Guzma's getting just straight up murked. Trust me.
Yeah, a division among the region regarding whether Faba should be freed, because he did also commit a lot of crimes. Lily's ineffectiveness as Aether president has spurred this on. So Kiawe supports freeing Faba. Mallow's business is booming due to tourism increase. But she's against Aether Foundation.
So the problem is I kind of want to see where some of these ideas go, honestly.
Yeah. Tourism.
Who's getting gender bent? Don't worry, I already have a pick on that.
Against the Aether Foundation due to her concerns over small business. Sophocles, renowned. I guess he's a coder / inventor. Now, he was like a very short, pudgy kid, which means, of course, as he grows up, now looks like he could audition for Magic Mike and not be out of place.
All right, well, new mandate has come in. We realized that barely anyone read the manga and less people watch the show, but, people bought the game, so we need to make more game references. So we want to demand that the main playable character in the games make it into the script.
But they don't have personalities.
But they do ask at the beginning, are you a boy or a girl? And you know what we can do with that. We can subvert expectations by making them both.
When I was discussing this with my friends, we chose Alima for that role.
Alima?
Alima is the first trial captain in the games.
Alima.
Hold on, I have my notes.
I'm gonna start just Googling some of these characters. Oh, wow! Is that a guy? Is that a girl?
Is a guy. It is a guy.
Oh, there's a cute Eevee here. That's nice. Oh.
Now, MB Icon. We have to have a character call themselves a Bicon, and then I will throw myself out a window. I think that should be Mallow.
I'm trying to remember her name. Fuck. Sorry, what were you saying?
Hold on.
Screen. Also, why is Google Images on our screen live? Oh no, I was just looking at things. There was a character that looked like Ilima that I was trying to pull up, but I couldn't find her. I don't remember her name. But it was a character.
Lana is now 6'10". I could see Lana being 6'10". Lana, I think in my write up, Lana is a jaded Interpol agent struggling with accusations of police brutality.
Oh, I just thought with the Ash thing, he could be coming back with who's your girl from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire?
Cinia. Cinia can come in and ruin some things. I don't know. We don't know where her current
Well, that's a stinger for season 2. That's a stinger for season 2. Stinger? I don't know how to spell Cinia though. You can spell it. I don't. Or that'd be a great Zinnia.
She's gonna come in and cause trouble. Yeah. Zinnia like the flower. Oh yeah. Also, Mallow's married to Kiawe. Relationship barely hanging on. So Lana is caught up with accusations of police brutality. Straining her relationship with Mallow. Because in the show they're best friends.
Ooh, Officer Jenny. We need Officer Jenny and we need Nurse Joy somehow.
Well, they're always like supporting characters.
Well, yeah, but like they're going to be important in season 2, so we need to establish them in season 1.
I think they're like major side characters. But they're you could establish them just by having them there. They're not like, I don't know.
You understand? This is the CW. No character gets introduced without being ruined.
Oh, Zinnia, I loved her. She had the Wismer for a child, right? The Wismer isn't really her. She calls it her daughter, but it's like her like unhealthy projection of the fact that her friend got like brutally murdered. As far as the manga goes, so. Oh yeah, Kahili will be minor, but she'll show up. Don't worry. So here's the thing about Sophocles, though. Sophocles is one of these like activist hackers, right? And he's actually been to jail. Has been imprisoned for hacking major infrastructure. No longer on good terms with his cousin Moylaine. Lana, and this is connected because Lana is on Sophocles' trail. Now, I think Sophocles should be the first gay person. Because, as we all know in CW shows, gay people are criminals for some reason.
I mean, yeah, just look at Batwoman.
Hi, Batwoman.
Make it so that Nurse Joy has an undercover abortion clinic to break the corporate healthcare monopoly. Okay, I'm okay with that. Yes.
Sure. Right. Gotta put in all the issues. Undercover abortion clinic to help fight against corporate healthcare monopoly. Officer Jenny, semi-corrupt. I don't know if corrupt is the right word. I think she'd just be like very serious about her job.
She's very serious, but she has a long pining for Nurse Joy, which makes it all the more heart-wrenching when she learns about the illegal underground abortion clinic. Gotta gay it up in here. We can't have a single straight character in here.
When I was writing this with my friends, we originally made it so Sophocles and Moylaine were like spurned lovers, and then we realized that they were cousins, and we were just like, no, go back.
I don't know. I don't mind hearing banjos in the distance for something like this. I could see that. We're cousins by marriage.
I could be. Make gay's character. Nothing else should be in his story but being gay. That'll be somebody else. I think we should have Mallow. Calls herself a bicon because that is how you ruin a character instantly. A bicon is a bi icon, and anyone who calls themselves that usually
are not icons, and in fact
are not icons. Usually, they just think that the fact they harass both men and women makes them better somehow. I think in the anime, she's very close with Lily because, you know, they're both like middle school girls that spend a lot of time together. But obviously, that can't just be a friendship between two girls. No. Obviously,
they had a past relationship. They had a past.
I don't think they had a past relationship. I think has an unrequited pining for Lily, and that could come up. Now, as far as Kiawe is going, I don't think there's much with him.
For Lily, she goes around. She's sort of like the island bicycle. It's what she does to get to forget. She does that to forget because it's a thing that's not associated with her mother. Is the sexual element of herself.
Has lots of sex to forget the trauma. We should have a little note up here that this is all.
I feel dirty for writing this.
Trust me, this is very tame compared to what I've seen on AO3.
Well, yeah, I know, but the fact
at least we're writing 10 years later, and this is a joke. Unlike you go on like the Sun and Moon tag, and it's like chatfic, trans autistic gay Lily. Everyone is 12.
And so won't they turn the whole season to bait the LGBT audience? Yes!
You know it!
That's literally how all these relationships work. Catatonic. Lucamine also wakes up at the end of the season.
Okay.
Or no. Should Lucamine wake up at the end of the season, or should they be the season 3 tease with Ash and Zinnia?
I think she should be the season 3 tease, because I think she should be like the final boss.
Okay. Wakes up.
What are you doing to poor Lily?
Season 2.
You know what? You people think I'm doing something bad with Lily right now. I'm going to go into the Pokemon tag right this second. Hold on. I have it open. I'm going to search up Lily's name. And literally the second thing is one of those gigantic sex fetish crossovers that you see in every tag. But the one right after that is not a crossover. I cannot describe this on a stream.
I will. AO3, here we go.
You are not going to want to describe this on a stream. Are Team Skull Proud Boy stand-ins? I think they should be. Leader of Team Skull.
I'm not getting any Pokemon. God damn it. Pokemon. All media types. Characters. Where's Lily? Where's Lily called in Japanese?
I think he could be a drug lord just for extra measure. And he gave drugs to Mina. Because Mina's here too.
Oh, Lord! Yeah, alright, yeah, I know exactly why you didn't want to describe that one, okay.
You're looking at the same one I am, right?
Does it have a big bolded first tag?
Yes!
Jesus Christ, people!
Is it 4,000 words?
I think it was. I closed the tab because I'm streaming my screen, and so I was like, oh god, nope! Woo! Oh, man. We still need to do that stream where we go through bad fanfiction, like actually like scrolling through bad fanfiction and just see what kind of tags we come across. Okay, so let's see. 10 years.
Yeah, so we just mentioned Mina. So Mina is actually the drug addicted lover of Guzma.
Okay. She's the painter one, right?
Yeah. Who's definitely high on fumes, like in the real thing. There's just no question about it.
Oh yeah, that woman goes into the forest to pick shrooms. See, here's the thing. Like, as an audience member, whenever I see something like that on screen, I'm always like, "Oh man, I really wish I knew what they were talking about." It wasn't Vor. I don't think it was Vor. I didn't see a Vor tag, but it was up there.
Become addicted to drugs, or has become addicted. Actually, I don't think we need to involve Plumeria. Mina, drug addicted lover of Guzma, given drugs by Plumeria. And then taken into Team Skull. There we go.
Who's Plumeria?
Plumeria is like Guzma's second in command. Now, there has to be a reason she got into drugs.
I'll give you a hint, Yennies. It started with an R. Anime guy, I do believe I got yours. Did I? I think I updated it in our thing. If not, I can easily correct that. Don't worry.
What about Wick? I don't think I actually did anything with Wick in my notes. Which, I kind of forgot about her. We could assume she's like dead or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Wick is the character that was cut from the show.
She was not cut, or in the real show, she was not cut. But
no,
I understand.
No, I'm saying she was cut from this.
Okay.
Yeah, we just knew too many characters. No one knows Wick. No one cares.
How? Yeah, there's a lot of characters. Let's see. Plumeria gave drugs to Nina.
And Yannis, I'll clarify, it involved a Pokemon, so I'm not gonna... yeah, you can see why I didn't want to keep that up on screen. I mean, you guys are free to look this up as much as you just go to AO3, go to the Pokemon tag,
go to the Lily tag, you'll see it.
Go to the Lily tag, you'll find it. You'll find it real fast. Also, can we just briefly talk? There is, like, I really hate authors who do that, like, that thing we were just, like, the second that in that list of the, oh, I'm going to tag every single billion fandom, and then, like, I'm going to have one single story in there for a single fandom. So every single time I post in this damn fic and update it with a new, like, one-shot, it's going to, like, be in that fandom, even though it's not actually in that fandom. Like, I really hate those.
And they're always huge, and like scrolling past them is obnoxious.
Yeah, it's one of the
because they'll have like 12 fandoms and 30 pairings, and then 200 tags of what goes on in it.
What I don't understand is that there is a collections system. You can make a collection of stories and then just have individual stories inside of that collection. I don't know why they didn't do that. Oh, actually, I know why they don't do that. Because then they wouldn't be seen. Like,
then they wouldn't be what?
Then they wouldn't be seen. Like, that's their whole thing. They want to try and get as many people as possible to see their work. It's inflation.
It is, but it's so stupid. I mean, it's not stupid because it's very like, it's not a terrible business model because they put in so much different kind of weird stuff that they're bound to hit some niche. Like if you go to Ruby.
Oh yeah, there's like 12 of them for Ruby.
And you go to the most you go to like most hits. Yeah, you ever want to feel bad about yourself, go to a fandom and search by hits. The first one for the most viewed Ruby fanfic with 960,000 views. Okay, it has almost 1 million words. Worm, Wild Blow, Sailor Moon, Ranma 1/2, Ruby, Madoka Magica, Fallout New Vegas, Avatar: Last Airbender, Legend of Korra, Girls Last Tour, Kill la Kill, and
how do you search by hits? I'm just curious.
It's on the side, sort by hits.
Oh, okay. Hits.
And it's all like just fetish.
Oh yeah, fiction ficlets. Yeah, no, that one I know about.
291 chapters of just 500 word fanfics. There's 2,500 kudos. Again, almost 1 million words, and it's just shitty fetish.
Almost like, 1 million hits.
It's just shitty fetish. Like I'm reading it right now. It's just bad.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar. I've come across this before. Like, it's just, because inevitably, the things that you're looking for are going to come across, and it's like, well, I'll take a dive and see what's in here. And you just, it's not very good stuff in there. I remember that distinctly.
I can't read it, but it is.
And then the next one is a John Harem fanfic.
That's all the most popular ones. And then another super crossover one. Let's see. Yeah, it's just sex.
John Harem.
Then John Harem.
John Harem.
John Harem.
Oh, no. This is a Huntress. This is a Ruby Harem, like, super.
It's Fuda.
Wait, no, it's a series of one-shots. It's literally just Fuda one-shot stuff. Okay, so then what John Harem.
Ruby? I have to say, Ruby fans for supposedly, they're all like, I'm so into. It's all about the women. It's the empowering women in Ruby. For a show that supposedly has a fan base with so many women, especially gay women, you would think that there would be more fanfics for Ruby that weren't Fuda. Like one would think, because
I've noticed Fuda that before. Like when you actually look at the Fuda tag, Ruby has literally the most Fuda tags in all of AO3.
I did the math recently because I was curious. What was it? There was some like insane statistic that I calculated. Ruby, hold on. Ruby fanfics. Ruby fanfics are 13 times more likely to feature it.
Next. Okay, so there's original works, which has the most, which is 1,072. Then Ruby with 976. So it's not very far behind. It's like 100 behind. That's actually fairly close. The next largest
is Love Live. It's
Love Live with 218. Literally almost 1/5 the amount of Ruby has.
Yeah, Ruby fanfics are 13% of them, and then Love Live is in second place at 5%. That's insane. Which it's kind of insane because, it's kind of like the thing about Fuda is that it's a very very male thing, because the idea is that you have two women, so that's hot or whatever, but you also can't picture them doing anything without your own respective anatomy being involved. There's actually one way you can tell that, like, when regular, like, Yuri is being written by men is when there's just a very strong focus on penetration, because to them, that's how they think it works. Like, that's the only way that
this
women
stream
like
is
something.
so demonetized.
It's so demonetized. But, like, it's just interesting how that works for Ruby in particular. You wonder why it attracts so many people like that in particular.
Well, and then you get the opposite of that, where you're not quite sure. The balls sloshed.
Oh my gosh, I love Ruby. I love it when the anatomy is just insane, and like you literally cannot fathom somebody being into it.
Oh, it says Fuda in like what the fuck? I'm into Fuda. I'm into Fuda like crazy, but I find it so strange that it's always Weiss. Yeah, that's another weird thing. It's specifically almost always Weiss. Like, of that 900, I guarantee you that probably out of that is like 700 of them are Weiss.
This chat has deteriorated so much. Sorry, we got a little off. I think the reason why Weiss is always the main target is because she is the smallest. That's my theory.
I don't think that's the case.
I think it's because she is the smallest, and because she is the brattiest.
I was going to say, I think it's the girl boss attitude. I think that's it.
Man, so interesting how Ruby fans seem to be really focused on the idea of taking a confident woman and then doing stuff. I just think that's interesting. It
is fascinating, because like I'm not opposed to Fuda stuff, but it's like, why Ruby in specific? This is really weird outlier.
I have an answer, but I can't say it on YouTube.
Fair. I probably have the same thought. We can talk about it after the stream. Anyway, back to making a different show horrible.
Ruby's already horrible.
Yes.
So, let's see, my notes.
We need more for Lily. It feels like we're not doing enough with Lily. She needs more trauma.
She already has the trauma.
She needs more. We're the CW. We get off on this shit.
Guys, give me more trauma for Weiss.
Lily. You said Weiss.
Nothing like tuning into a stream after a couple week break and hearing about Huda. I'm sorry, it came up. I missed this. We missed you too, Emerald Greens.
It's good to have you back.
Yeah.
This conversation is the most disappointing thing since my son.
Alima is a gender something teacher at an arts school.
He's played by that one guy from Cruella.
No, he's played by the dude who voiced Double Trouble in She-Ra.
Have you seen the guy that voiced Double Trouble? I don't think he could pull off that being that skinny.
I know, but by the way, if you guys don't know what else that dude is famous for, he also wrote the article that was called "Why Can't My Gender Non-Conforming Friends Get Laid?"
Oof.
Yes, it's the same guy.
I mean, I like their performance as Double Trouble. I'm not gonna bet, like, they're a good voice actor. They pulled off.
Never said they were bad.
Yeah.
You can be talented and be a total weirdo. You could be like Ashley Birch or something. She's super talented and also kind of a weirdo. Like, it's not unheard of.
Oh, right. Which character is the Joe West, aka the best character in a show? You're right. Okay, so in every single CW show, there is one character that stands out as good because usually the actor carries it, or they're written in a way that makes them more competent than everyone else. So in The Flash, this is Joe West, who is the father of the main character's love interest, who is actually like a very respectable cop. You have Lance, Detective Lance, from The Arrow, who, again, very respectful. He's actually more of like the stereotypical crooked cop kind of guy, but he's actually like very noble. Then you have in Batwoman, you have, I think it's either Luke or it's the father, the main.
By the way, Lily has also lost her Vulpix in a tragic accident.
Oh no, Vulpix! No,
no Vulpix, no Snowy. That will either be Lana because Lana's powerful and mightier than I am, and I don't think even I could ruin her. Or Acerola, because Acerola is also awesome. Best character in the show due to her actress's performance.
Well, yeah, you can actually have like kind of there's usually kind of two that kind of crop up. It's usually like there's one really main one, and there's one that sort of just kind of shows up out of nowhere. So I'd say like my second favorite in Flash is Ralph Dibny. That man is hilarious, and of course his actor got canceled. So,
So Acerola has finally accepted her heritage as the future, it's the chief of Alola. Trapped between her own personal beliefs and economic advancement. Nanu, who's like her adoptive uncle, so to speak, he's also Interpol, so he's going to be Lana's mentor. And he has a giga depression because he's just
no. He's a comedic goof. Like, Lana's the one that takes it seriously. He's a goof.
I mean, he's like that in the real thing.
Yeah. So that's because like we can't have a male character be portrayed as competent or good or even actually all that tragic. They need to be goofs. So like
there's a scene in the anime where he walks into his station and there's like 12 Meowth all meowing at him. And he literally he like walks through them. Like he has to open the door and just walk through them. Unless they all kind of get pushed out of the way.
Funny when I left, I dropped the show when he left and I didn't even know who left. Oh, Say they would never write Lance like how they did in Arrow nowadays. Yeah, no, like Lance was such a good character. He was a man of multiple facets. I loved him, and like I am actually very happy he got written out when he did. Now how he got written out was a little more shaky, but they did him justice through the end. They didn't destroy Lance, and I'm so happy about that. Nanu is the Diggle of the series. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. See, abused by women. Slowpoke tails getting chopped off has expanded to Vulpix tails being used for ice cream. Oh my god.
No! There's Hapu. Hapu's already had a hard enough life, so of course we can make it harder. I think she's going to be paraplegic after Mudsdale riding accident, because that just seems like something that happened to her because she's always riding on that thing.
No, okay. We can't damage these characters physically in between. So what we need, this needs to be like a focus of like an early episode.
Okay. And because she's Kahuna, she starts to struggle with her role and her faith. Hapu hit her growth spurt. I never figured out if Hapu was a child or a very small adult.
Hapu Pokemon.
Because it's not really by like her appearance, but she has like a very, very specific way of talking.
Huh. She is a small.
She's definitely small. Lana's also small, but she is a strong motherfucker and powerful.
Hapu didn't hit her growth spurt. Lana hit her growth spurt. Hapu never grows. We need okay. That's good midget representation right here.
Exactly. Midget.
You joke, but people are actually like there is calls for that kind of stuff. Even though I have maybe seen a midget once in my life. I mean, they were nice. I'm not gonna say a bad word about them. Just saying, don't see them very often. We make her a short stack. Yes.
Really tall and buff now. If Lana, boom, the first trans age.
Not buff. I would say tone. Tone, because she's a swimmer, isn't she?
Yeah, but she's also, like I said, strong motherfucker and powerful. There's literally an episode where she fishes Kyogre.
Well, yeah, but like the this is the CW. We don't care about the actual like what you need physically in order to do these things. We'll just make you look good when we need you to.
There's an episode that starts with them all like trying to like jump over platforms, and they keep stacking them higher. And like after,
sorry, I just got reminded. There's a great quote from a guy who is like he's like even further on the other side of the argument. Not on the other side. He's on our side of the argument, but like so radical. And he was like going through a video complaining about Avengers Infinity War, and he's like, not only is there midget representation, but there's also a suspicious amount of women. And it's like, what does that even mean?
A suspicious amount of women.
So
there's never been a situation in humanity where there were more women in a situation than men.
I mean, we had Albino rep in Black Lightning, and he was one of the best villains. I've never watched Black Lightning. I heard it was good. I don't trust those accounts.
No, but anyway, there's a like an episode of Sun and Moon that opens, and they're all jumping over these platforms, and eventually gets too high, and Kiawe, who, remember, he's like the only boy there who's probably hit puberty already. He can't get over it, and then Lana just jumps over it like it's nothing.
Lana sounds terrifying.
She is. She's so frightening. It's a thing in the manga. They're like terrified of her. Like her friends are so scared.
Yeah, we're getting such good viewership. I wonder if we should just make CW writing a regular thing.
I think we should. It's a lot of fun. Let's see. There's Hao. We forgot Hao. He's like a minor character. He's a major character in the games, but minor in the anime. I think that now that he's old, we should remember that his grandfather was like very large because he was based on a sumo wrestler. Just say he is a diabetic, struggling with depression.
Yeah, because he can't do what he loves. He can't be a wrestler.
Yeah, low, not chosen as next Kahuna, dealing a heavy blow to his self-esteem. Somebody mentioned Kahili earlier. I do have notes on Kahili. Kahili is pro-business, so she wants to free Faba, right? Because of her father's hotel business, or hotel, not business, but like he owns a hotel.
I just realized, who do we have for Asian representation in here?
I know that we're not supposed to be accurate because that's like kind of what the CW does, but from what it seems, whatever, they just kind of give them like varieties of skin colors. Obviously, they're not going to do anything more than that. Most of them seem to, well, not most, but a lot of them seem to just kind of be Hawaiian. Some are white, some are darker. We can throw in like Lana's the Asian rep or something.
I'm just curious. It's like that's what a CW executive would be worried about.
But what about the representation?
What about the representation?
I mean, Hawaii is very heavily Asian.
Yeah, so which is like, that makes it.
It'd be weird if there weren't any Asians in the show.
No, but what would be weird is adding like 3 more black people to the cast
instead of Asians. You mean?
And basically. Oh, we could blackwash some Asians.
Just like the real CW, we could blackwash Lana. We could blackwash like.
See, no, the thing is, I really
like Plumeria.
I don't want to do that to Lana. I feel
we
like...
could do it to Sophocles.
Yeah,
Lupus and whoever's the nerdiest. You have to because we're progressive and we don't like stereotypes. We definitely don't like stereotypes. What is it with like progressive artists and just being super stereotypical? I still remember, and I have a folder of it because I thought I just think it was so funny. Ruby fans, I think they still are, used to be obsessed with turning Blake black. They would draw her black, and the reason why is because they said, "Oh, because she's oppressed."
Yikes!
Make of that what you will.
That is. To live in these people's minds, to understand the world as they see fit, and not to see every single individual as an individual.
She's obviously an allegory for African Americans, and I'm just like, you just assume that because she's oppressed. It's so annoying because it's also like that guy last stream who sent in a couple streams ago, who sent in that awesome thing about racism.
Yeah.
Or I think it was Pastebed, actually, who sent it in.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Pastebed.
Yeah, but Pastebed sent that in. Yeah, and like he said, it's so obnoxious when shows act like their racism plot is an allegory for all racism, and all racism happens because of the same reasons, and everybody experiences it the same, when that's not true, because the Faunus they are remarkably different from people around them.
They literally have an extra layer of senses sometimes.
Yeah. It's like I said on the same stream. It's kind of like if we had a racism issue, but the people that suffered from it were like a foot taller than the average person.
Yeah, if you go like, do Faunus when they go in the movies, do movies have to have warnings for like photosensitivity?
That'd be interesting. That would be like a cool little bit of world building.
Like, or maybe like they have to like wear shades inside movie theaters, something like that, like. Because they see too well, it's too bright.
I haven't watched Zootopia, but like Zootopia did a better job.
Zootopia is fascinating when you learn about like the levels that they went to. Because like the one thing that stuck out is, well, there's this part where like a train passes through the Arctic area, through a wall, and then into the desert area. And at first you're like, that doesn't make any sense. That wouldn't work. But it does, because the way that you cool an entire area to make it Arctic, all that heat needs to go somewhere, so they pump it all into the desert area. And so The desert area coexisting next to the Arctic area makes the absolute most sense out of any of the locations in the movie. It's very interesting the level of depth they went through on how the mechanics of this world worked out. It's very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, but also the idea that in Zootopia, the whole thing is like people are bigoted against the predators, right? Isn't that the plot? Which the whole thing is that it kind of makes sense because if you had an entire group of people that were literally built to eat you, like their biology was literally designed to best catch and eat you, you would have a lot of issues with that.
Yeah, orcs. You just go right to the orcs issue. Like, I really hate how they're like, if you talk about orcs in this way, you're racist, and it's like, no, because orcs are orcs and people are people. Orcs are not stand-in for people. Why would you think that, you horrible person?
To be fair, early Ruby didn't have many dark-skinned characters, so people were looking for it and added it somewhere. So there's two things about that. A, if you're going to do that, you should have a better excuse than she's oppressed. Two, if you are going to do that, you should also not draw her like an absolute stereotype.
Yep.
That's the thing about what, and also that's the thing. Whenever you like a vaguely ethnic character in a popular piece of media, you have to know that you're going to deal with hundreds of pieces of art of them drawn very, very ugly for the sake of being progressive.
Yeah,
because it's more it's for some people it's like, yeah, it's more progressive if we draw them super ugly. No, it's not.
I think Beastars takes it all several steps further, especially with the different complications of being different animals. I mean, isn't that what Zootopia is all about? Although it has like the central like carnivore versus herbivore thing, but like, don't forget that you have an entire subcity made up of gerbils that are tiny. It's like kind of adorable, but so it's like I don't know. I mean, I think that Zootopia just has this underlayer that just never gets explored because it doesn't have the time.
But yeah, what I'm trying to say though is that they have this like weird thing about it where they just kind of insert their own prejudices because they're just like, oh, this character is this ethnicity, so they have to have these exact traits, which I will emphasize in my art, and they unintentionally create a caricature, and it's like, oops.
People don't understand, like, that political ideology is just so poisonous. Like, you can't just loop people into a group. You can't.
If I ever do a stream about Ruby, the intro slideshow, which I will get back to doing solo streams, but if I ever do a solo stream about Ruby, the intro slideshow is going to be the Bad Ruby art folder, so tune in for that.
Do you actually have a Bad Ruby art folder?
I do. It's the what I've had it since I was like 16 or 17. It's bad.
Damn. There's got to be one. I know there are ones that are just as bad as that one Doki Doki Literature Club one. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I always used to love their excuses too. They're like, I draw Ruby as Hispanic because she has Spanish guitar in her theme. Not all Spanish speakers are super dark.
Also, like, anyone can play a fucking guitar.
Even if you did use that excuse, if her guitar is Spanish, like, Spain is a white country. Not every Spanish speaker looks like, they came out of, like, the depths of the Amazon. Yeah. There's a lot of pretty light-skinned Spanish. There's a lot of really dark-skinned Spanish speakers. There's a lot of types of people in Latin America.
Jetty Race, people will have a problem with your story if there's little to no dark-skinned characters, even if the story has a reason for it. Yeah, like, if you were to write an entire, like, you can't have period pieces anymore. Like, if you have a period piece set in, like, 15th century England, you have to have a black guy thrown in somewhere and find a way to cram him in, or else you're going to be called non-progressive. And it's like... But,
to be fair, the Moors existed then.
The Moors. Down in Spain.
They made it.
Yes.
There were some traders and slavers that did make it up to England.
Yes, but, like, to like, for every show to use that excuse... That has you're going to wear that out thin fast.
In fact, it's pretty racist for them to think because someone is Spanish that means they are an exact look. Also, they would say that like Yang is Chinese because of her last name. Fine, but then they would draw her like not Chinese. They draw her with this like weird orangey skin tone.
They would draw her like you draw the stereotypical Mandarin from the old Marvel comics. Like,
I don't know what that is, but like
horrible Chinese caricature.
No, it wasn't even a Chinese caricature. Is the thing is, if they were making a Chinese caricature, that'd be one thing, but they weren't. They were making her like, I guess it was supposed to be Southeast Asian or something. But if her name is Chinese, that's not how that works. Like, Chinese people look Chinese. They don't look like they're from Indonesia. That's.
Well, we are horribly off track.
Yeah. Anyway.
And I've already been canceled like 5 times after this, so.
Okay. Well, we have a few more characters to cover in my notes.
Okay. Who have we got left? Oh no, Yang is Orange Man now. Oh no.
Let's see.
What other vices could we have in here?
Hala is dead. He just died of old age because he would have by that point. Hala dead, and that obviously affects Hao. No, guys, I'll show you the bad Ruby art holder. Hold on. Like I have. It's very easy to access. Hold on. Where are my folders?
Where are all the black people in this Edo period historical Japanese movie, bigot? Yep.
Isolationist Japan.
Literally, you were lucky if you were Dutch.
Phantom of the Night. If I intentionally write a bad fic and submit it, will you guys read it? Depends. Is it like funny? Because you can write something bad on purpose and it'll be hilarious. If you can do that, we would happily read it. Like, if you're doing a parody, I'd love that.
See, I'm not sure. Like, constructed... As long as I don't know it's intentionally bad, which is kind of a paradox with a lot of things.
Yeah. Man, I used to be a lot funnier when I was 16. There's a file on here that's named Cook Your Pira Until Golden Brown.
They read my fics every time. Moopa! Moopa! Don't go bashing yourself. Unless you're doing this to reverse psychology me into praising you more, in which case, bad Moopa. Either way, bad Moopa. Right, but they're talking about race and culture clash analysis. I think you'll be pleased by next week. Oh, Lord! That's Pasteben, right? Master Decoy?
Yeah. Here, I'll send you one. I'll send you one of my folder just as a preview. It's the best because it's one of those like screenshot redraws.
Oh, a minute. I'm going to actually move your camera so I can get that in there, Molly. That is horrendous. I look forward to it. That is so bad. That is so bad. Also, all right, I want to get this out there. There are more than black women with afros. I just need to get this out there. Like I get that. Okay, if you want a black woman in your movie, she doesn't need an afro. Not every it is galling to me how lazy these people are. It's like, I don't give her braids, give her straighten out her hair,
shaved head.
Shaved head.
A lot of them shave their heads.
They wear that weird towel thing, which I don't understand, but hey, it's their thing. They can do it. Like,
if you want to go like in sub-Saharan Africa, a lot of them have shaved or covered heads because it's so hot. Like, why would you want all that hair down on your back when it's 90 degrees out every day?
Just give me variety. Don't just give me literally like Domino from Deadpool 2 over and over and over again. I don't care if that's a popular look. I care for originality.
Yeah, they would always draw Blake with like all the stereotypes, like the big puffy hair, and if it was more detailed, they give her like a wide nose and big lips. And I was like, that doesn't feel right.
Looks to be.
There's one where Yanga's freaking out because Blake has short hair, like it's the hottest thing ever.
You know what really sucks? I used to really be into girls with dark, short hair. And, like, to see how it has become so abused, I'm just like as a concept, has left me very disheartened. Because, like, every character now has short, dark hair. And I'm just like, guys, variety. This is, please.
Well, it's because they've never actually interacted with minorities in their life.
Okay, so where were we?
I can't wait for Ruby Volume 10, where Blake comes on screen and she's just black for some reason.
Oh my god, don't just... Oh, she got a tan while on the island.
No, it's going to be no explanation.
Okay, so, who do we have left to ruin?
Who gets the tomboy pixie cut? That's a good... No, not the tomboy pixie cut. It's the one that, like, every time in a cartoon they want to tell you a character is bisexual. They give her, like, it's cut down to, like, kind of the neck, like straight dark hair down to the neck.
The Amity.
No, it's not the Amity, because it's the Cora, I think, was the first one to do it. She has to get a haircut.
The Bob.
Yeah.
Which, I mean...
Well, it's specifically because they did it to Blake, because I'm sure they did it to Blake because of that, because they saw Cora do it, and they saw...
Like I said, like, I like that haircut on women. It's become, like, so ubiquitous with like, show lesbianism? Like movie lesbianism. Media.
No, it's the bi characters.
The bi character? Okay.
If she's lesbian, she'll have super short hair, because heaven forbid a lesbian ever be womanly or pretty, because all lesbians aren't women, as we know, so they have to be dumpy and look like men.
So who do we have here that's already a lesbian?
Sometimes I'm angry because of many
Mallow.
things.
Mallow has
it should be Mallow.
Because, like, she has, like, the whole, like, she's the bicon. She's the one that's pining for Lily. Has the bi cut.
Like, I saw stuff yesterday. It was just like, oh, lesbians getting ready for prom, and the joke is that they have no dresses and only flannels and don't know how to do their makeup. And they're like, you're right. Lesbians are always ugly and don't take care of themselves, right? Because that's the stereotype, right? You're not really gay if you actually look good, because that's just how it. And I swear, I was about to, like, track down this person.
I have met a lot of lesbians. For reasons, I'm not going to go into it, but I have met a lot of them.
They vary just like anyone else.
Yeah, they vary just like anyone else, and also I usually don't end up liking them as people. Although that's a different conversation altogether.
I just hate this stereotype. Like, I love it when I have an opportunity to get really pretty. Like, I was really excited to get all nice for prom. I hate this idea that it's, like, inherently, like that there's just inherently you have to look super butch.
Well, no, you know? like because you need to represent. That's the reason why. It's not that women can't look womanly, is that you need to represent that women don't have to look womanly, which paradoxically means that women can't look womanly.
Well, why is it always the lesbian character then? That's just what I find interesting. I just think that's interesting. I just think that's a little interesting.
That would be interesting. Because, like, I've considered this, like, guys cross-dressing. Like, when you think about it, like, why don't guys cross-dress more? Women cross-dress all the time. They can. Like, it's very bizarre how, like, that does function on very weird gendered lines where women can wear guy clothes all the time, anytime, and no one will blink an eye. A guy could wear a dress and everyone will turn head because that's weird.
That's not really what I'm talking about, though. What I'm talking about is more like a lot of these, like, shows. They have this weird kind of kind of like idea that if the character is bi, she can look kind of girly and pretty, but if the character is a lesbian, she can't. That's the thing that bothers me.
Well, yeah, because again, I think that they need visual coding. That's basically it.
But you don't, because that's not how it works.
Yeah, no,
like,
but that's how TV to them works. And again, remember, I'm the producer. I'm the producer. Can we talk about how people seem to get a lot of crap from the LGBT community for some reason, because if you don't date someone of the same gender, you're just a straight argument? Yeah, but bis get that all the time. I feel bad for
I don't know. There's a collection of people that I've noticed. I call them like the pseudo bis or the barely bis, and it's basically like people who just really want to, who are like don't fit in anywhere because they're like terrible, and then just take on the identity because the community will accept them. You find them a lot at like GSAs.
I want to clarify. She said see no bis, as in like I don't see any, as in you don't see any bis. Is that correct? Is that
what? I said pseudo.
Pseudo. Oh, I thought you said Sino. I heard Sino,
and
I was more excited. We have Sino beat. We have Sino
like
Vice
like the Pride club at my school. You'll just have they all have partners of the opposite sex and don't really seem to be super interested in the same sex, which is interesting because. Yeah. By the way, I also saw a thing yesterday that was just like, if you don't like the GSA gays, you just have internalized homophobia. And I'm like, I'm going to internalize my fist down your throat if you talk to me like that again.
Well, here's the thing: is like, I don't necessarily argue for cross-dressing. I'm not on that side of the argument necessarily. I unless you're wearing it for a gag, I don't think you really should. I mean, I don't think a lot of women look very good in like typical like really men's clothing, like a suit and jacket, unless it's tailored to them.
Oh, hold on. Paceman says it's because lesbians are tainted by the appeal to men. In reactance to that, they must overcompensate by making them as unappealing as possible.
That might be something.
Hold on. He's onto something. That makes sense. That's why the bi girls always get to look really pretty and sporty, because they can still appeal to men, because men would have a chance with them. The man gets it.
Can we stop confusing chastity with asexuality, please? People are confusing chastity with asexuality?
Yeah, it's weird. I'll see like 14, 15-year-old kids and they're like, I'm asexual, and I'm just like, no, you're not. You're a kid. Give yourself time. They're like, yeah, I'm just not really interested in having sex yet. I'm like, yeah, because you're a kid. It's okay. But like we have this idea that like kids start dating when they're 11. So
yeah, I don't know when that, like I remember like when I was like 14 and I was like, man, I would really like a girlfriend, but I'm not there yet. Then I was 15 and I'm like, I could probably try a girlfriend. I got 16. I'm gonna try. I got myself a girlfriend, and it lasted all of a month, and all we did was hold hands. And I'm pretty sure she started dating her best friend after that. So, oh.
Yeah, there's also this weird thing where people try to like, they try really hard. People who try really hard to like segment it even more. They're like, yeah, they're like a-spec. I'm on the asexuality spectrum, so I only want to have sex sometimes. And I'm like, that's everyone actually. Besides like the degenerate furries on Discord trying to groom you, that is everyone.
Mupa, I appreciate the honesty, and let's be honest, we're all a little into male traps, except Molly. I don't think she's in the male traps.
I'm not.
Okay, good. Let's see. My twin sister is asexual, and she's already got a lot of body image stuff she has to deal with. Yeah, no, I have a friend that's asexual that I actually tried dating before she even like realized, like, kind of came down hard on that, like. And it was awkward. It was a really awkward time trying to date her. I still love her to pieces, but like I recognize I never have a shot. I'm not gonna push that issue. It's like people try to fit these people in the. And I have a friend that also is head over heels for her, but still wants. It's a very weird issue.
No, not by appealing to men, Molly. Consider our host as a man of culture. He understands that Yuri is the purest form of love. People hate that it makes them that makes them happy, so they have to ruin it.
Oh, and they don't realize that things that make people happy sells.
I hate it when people are like, 2 women is the purest form of love. The lesbian domestic violence rate is 60%.
I know, and I find that there's a reason.
Oh, we can have that. We can have that. We can put that in there.
Ooh, right.
Who has the domestic violence subplot?
That's a good question. See, this is why we go on tangents, people. We come up with these ideas. Who do we have as lesbian? We have Bi Mallow. We have Lily, who I think she's just goes around a lot. I don't know if
I think she just has no self-esteem. That's different.
Yeah. And maybe we'll give her we can bring in Moon as a character, or Luna, or whatever she's, and like she
Moon,
she can
Celine
she can fix Lily.
Lily by becoming romantic with her, and then a lot of smiley faces, because we know how that's going to end up. I can change him
in the story.
Shit his pants.
In the story, it's going to work out. In reality, it's going to be terrible. Let's see.
Unhealthy and controlling,
but portrayed as healthy.
Will portray this as a good thing.
God, I mean, if anyone watches The Flash, one of the most annoying characters is Iris. She's the main romantic interest of the main character, and she is ungodly painful to watch. Like, literally in the middle of, like, I think season 3 or 4, she holds Barry's hand and is like, "No, Barry, you're not the Flash. We're married. We're the Flash." And it's the most fucking condescending thing I have ever seen in reality. "No, Barry, you're not the superhero who runs really fast and saves the day on a regular basis. I, as your wife, who sits here in a control center pressing buttons, doing absolutely nothing and contributing very little because I'm a reporter by trade. I don't know any of this science shit. No, we're the Flash because I say so. God, I hate Iris. God, I fucking hate that plot in The Flash. Someone kill Iris already. Every single time she's in danger, I hope she dies." Her dad's cool, though. Love her dad. He's awesome. Keep him around at the end of time.
Now you're talking about characters like I talk about characters.
No, because seriously, you should watch The Flash and get as angry as I can, because it is infuriating how badly she's written. There are several other good female characters on that show. Iris is not one of them.
Not gonna lie, I reactively shuddered when he said I can fix her.
I'm not gonna let him take credit for a woman's work, Batwoman. Yeah, Christ, that shit. Lily has self-esteem. Fugs to forget the trauma. Absolutely top keck. Yes, that is exactly what we're going for. Top keck.
We can't have healthy gay representation in any show. So.
But we still need. I think. Let's see. Luke is back. The Xenia thing.
There are gay men in this, but they're not really going to have much focus because that doesn't get us views.
Yeah, it doesn't sell. Gay men don't sell.
Makes one think.
Makes one think.
Makes one think.
By
the way, I still stand by when you said the Amity haircut. I still stand by the fact that Dana Terrace. I know that the Owl House hasn't done anything bad yet. I still think Dana Terrace is one of the weirdest showrunners in cartoons right now.
Let me see. 1 minute. I'm trying to see if she's changed her hair. Because brief spoilers. Anyone who doesn't want to hear Owl House spoilers, close your ears for like the next 30 seconds. So 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So in the most recent episode of Owl House, Amity changes her hair color because
to what?
To purple. And I'm trying to find. Because like she has basically her roots were growing out, and her siblings were like, "Yeah, you should. Your roots are growing out. You want us to re-dye it?" And she's like, "Mom always made it green. Would you guys help me with something else instead?" And so she changes it to purple, and like that's a whole character growth moment for her.
Why is that character growth?
I don't know. I'm wondering if it's because Dana Terrace changed her hair color or something.
I'm trying. Hold on. Let me. All right, guys. If any of you know, well, it looks like she's naturally some sort of like brunette redhead kind of.
Yeah, I do like that touch in the show. It's like, oh, the character obviously has dyed hair, that kind of thing.
Just like the creator, I just think that's interesting. I just think it's interesting.
there should be a super team made up of Joe, Diggle, Quentin, Ray, and Luke. Just make a single super team made of the only genuinely good characters in the Arrowverse. Put Ralph Dibny on the team, and I'm sold.
Apparently now she has short hair. Based on a June 7th tweet where she drew herself with short hair and a backwards baseball cap to remind you that she's very queer, despite the fact that she's engaged to Alex Hirsch. Just to remind you all.
Isn't Diggle Green Lantern now? No, he is not. They basically have dropped that subplot because the Arrow spinoff show got canceled. No, you guys don't understand it. It's the character arc punk. Punk.
Did Amity shorten her hair?
No, I don't blink. Oh, did she? One minute.
It looks like her hair's shorter now.
Amity Owl House. Try and find. Maybe
I'm looking
she
to,
did.
recommend.
Oh my God, you're right. She did.
God damn it!
Well, okay. Now, in clarification, her bun, and they actually showed this. Her hair actually isn't all that long around the back. It's literally she has a very long fringe.
Listen,
bangs.
what
And
matters?
that's what she pulls up into the bow.
What matters is the fact that Dana Terrace shortened her hair, and then the character shortened her hair. Also, I saw a tweet of someone who got an Owl House tattoo. Don't get tattoos of 2-season shows like this. Please don't.
Well, 3.5 or 2.5. That's it. Also,
Please
don't get
don't
tattoos
get
of shows that aren't finished yet. That's how you wind up with
Yeah.
Khaleesi from freaking from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, shout out to all the little girls named Khaleesi.
Conform. I just can't get into Owl House knowing how blatant self-insert the show is. It just makes the show so uncomfortable. I mean, it's a good show. I genuinely think it's a good show. It's a lot of fun. There has been 1 or 2 slips where I think, that's a little too quick. But other than that, I find it a lot of fun. It's a great show.
For now, remember, the most powerful word in storytelling is yet.
But yeah, so if we can get the show of Joe, Diggle, Quentin, Ray, and Luke with Ralph as well, I would be on board with that. Although no one would make that because there's no Whammon. Whammons. I would allow Killer Frost onto that. Though they do some weird things with her. Her actress is actually really good. I really like her. She has as long as they play her as kind of weird. The more they try to play her as like a normal person, the more it gets bad. I think like her being kind of like, I'm like kind of little. I mean, I hazard to say a little autistic. She actually works really well like that. Kind of like emotionally unsure of herself. Or are you adding something?
No, I was just typing something else. What else should we add to this?
What other characters do we have to ruin?
Oh, we're out of characters to ruin, actually. There's like Ryuki, but nobody cares about him. And even he was like in the show for 3 seconds.
Do we want to start expanding to other characters? Like, oh, did you see that Marnie and Gloria got summer outfits for the?
Why are they making summer outfits when the characters are like 12?
I think they're like 14,
weird.
But I mean, yeah, that's still a good question.
Granted, they're not like revealing, but it's a little weird. Also, cursed non-punk Marnie. Repost for 30 years of bad luck.
I don't know. You could go pastel punk. Pastel punk.
It's not pastel punk.
True. Oh my god, she just has like a swimsuit jacket.
It's time to start drafting the storyline for the season. Yeah, we have
Okay.
like 27 minutes. Let's do this.
All right, so seasonal storylines.
You can handle this one because I did all the character building. So you
Right. Okay. So the first thing we should move that note about Pokemon. Where are the Pokemon? Increased tourism, climate change. All right. So I mean, I think the first season should be dealing with. All right. No. First big question is who is the main character? Who's the focal point character?
I would like personally do this as an ensemble cast, but for the sake of argument, I guess it would be Lily.
Okay, so Lily is main focus. Um, what does the Aether Foundation do?
The Aether Foundation, in like canonically, they are basically technology and rehabilitation for Pokemon.
Okay, so they need to be overswamped because the increased tourism and climate change has reduced Pokemon populations in Alola significantly. Many are now, uh, many are now protected. So, so basically, what this is it allows us to be like, oh, there's not enough Pokemon left in the wild to see them like casually. They're all like in the Aether Foundation labs, where like that's when we'll see the Pokemon. We'll be in this nice sterile location that the CGI artists can work
The
with
Pokemon
easily.
reminds us that it's Pokemon. We can't have that. We need the drama.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what they're kind of off to the side, and so they're like easily like kept in. Um, so it needs to be like the Aether. That's underline this season 1. It's really hard to write with my microphone. It's right here, so my you shift everything on my desk over to the left. Aether Foundation is. I'm going to actually. Oh,
What percentage it is for, do you think, for cartoon show creators that secretly draw their characters like Rebecca Sugar used to do for Ed and Eddie? If a creator actually has artistic ability, I'd say it directly correlates with how much relationship drama is in the show. That's my thing about Dana Terrace. She has the whole thing where she's like, it's important to me. The prom episode's important because I didn't get to go to prom because queer kids didn't get to go to prom, so it's super important because I didn't go to prom. First of all, you could have gone to prom because you're bi, so you could have gone with a boyfriend. B, if you didn't want that, a lot of gay kids just go with their friends. And C, you are like 30, and you missing prom for whatever reason, assuming you did, is not. You should not care about that anymore.
there's a simple solution. Invite a date to prom. You don't get to go together. Fine. You show up separately, going stag, and you know what you do? You dance together. You dance together, and you just don't care because who's going to fucking stop you? Like,
By the way, I have literally seen fan fictions before for Pokemon that are like tagged no Pokemon AU, which always kills me.
oh my god, are any of the women big breasted or are they average? That's a real CW thing they like to do. What do you mean? Like they only have average sized? Oh my god, do they have any big breasted women in the CW? I don't know.
Sorry, I'm looking at Dana Terrace's Twitter again, and there's a thing she quote tweeted about like someone who's like 6-year-old brother is celebrating the Lumity kiss. It's which is a little weird.
Yeah,
Just a little weird.
Axerman. That's basically what CW is. Like CW is all about like taking the superficial elements of the shows you love and then just basically cannibalizing them for drama purposes. That's what we're doing. Yeah,
By the way, just telling Chad, if you make a small child become obsessed with your ship in your show for bonding for some reason, you are weird, and I don't like you.
what'd you say? What?
The tweet I saw
Oh,
where it's like the person's like 6-year-old brother freaking out over the Lumity kiss, like uh, hatred, violence, rage, anger, rage, anger, violence. Anger, fury.
let's see if Ray and Molly would talk about it. I'm blowing your mind, bro. Yeah, you are blowing my mind. I can't think of a single big-breasted character in the CW.
It's not a thing I tend to focus on, so I can't contribute.
I just it galls me because it's like here's the thing. I'm not even like the biggest boob guy in the world. So long as they're nice and soft, I couldn't care what size they are. Like,
Thank you, Raymond.
yes, yeah, no, but like, so it's like I never paid attention to it, but it just hit me. Wow, there are no big-breasted women in the CW. Like, no wonder so many people turn off the CW and go to anime. No lie.
That's mean.
There's an anime that I tried watching that's all about the Duke and his maid, and it's the Duke of Death and his maid, And I'm like, oh, that's an interesting premise. The premise is that this guy, if he touches anything living, they die. And so he can't touch anything. He has to interact through non-physical means. And his maid is in love with him and is constantly teasing him. And I'm like, okay, there's a premise there. It's literally all like boob and like underwear jokes. And I'm like, you have such a golden premise on your hands, and you do the most asinine things with it. And I turned off the show. I couldn't. It was
All right,
terrible.
I'm giving you like a 10-minute warning right now to wrap things up.
Right, okay. So, Aether Foundation overrun rehabilitating Pokemon that are going endangered. Endangered. So, all right, now we need to kind of find the forced ways that everyone's involved. And now here's the thing: this is going to be season 1, so not everything is going to be terrible from the get-go. Although it was for Batwoman, Batwoman's kind of an outlier. CW's first seasons are usually okay. So let's see. We need more conflict. We need, like, all right, so the Pokemon are endangered. They're struggling over the amount. They're overrun with Pokemon in their holding cells. We can make this a children in cages allegory. Except it's too late, and it's ironic. It's ironically more criticizing the current regime than the last one. Make a children in cages allegory. But all right, so how do we do this? Lily is like struggling with the ethical implications of it. Struggling with the ethical implications of keeping the Pokemon in cages for their own safety. All right, so how do the other characters start figuring into this? That's what I need help on.
Well, there's the issue with Faba, and that takes. I feel like that should be a lot of it, because the whole thing is that they need to improve the Aether Foundation in order to gain that autonomy back that they need to save their region. But Faba's kind of the key to it, but letting him out is like a huge moral issue. And you have people like Sophocles who do kind of have the talent, but he's so much more like anarchist and rogue.
Like, would Sophocles be like hacking the Aether Foundation to sabotage it?
Yeah.
Okay. Sophocles hacking the Aether Foundation to sabotage the program. And would he be like doing that in order to get Faba out in some way?
No, I think he would be against it because he's very left wing, so he thinks
right.
that business success shouldn't like lead to that. Like, it's not worth it to him.
From prison, while Lily is Lily's the one stuck in the middle. Is stuck in.
Yeah, she's basically caught up in all this.
Whether or not to have him released. Who should be the one really pushing for his release?
I think like Kiawe, Kahili.
What does Kiawe do?
No, Kiawe he lost his farm basically due to lack of autonomy in the region. I think so that's a big one, and that's what causes tension with Mallow.
Maybe he goes to work for Lily.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a job anymore. Well, no, he would work with Mallow at her restaurant. So I don't know.
Well, maybe because the restaurant is struggling.
Yeah. Okay.
So and he's like, look, for the business purposes, we need to free this, and Mallow's really against it. But Mallow also sees how stress this is making Lily, so she sides with him to make it easier on Lily to make a decision. Okay.
Okay.
So we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Kiawe, all for releasing Faba. Mallow is against it. So Kiawe works for Lily because Mallow's restaurant is fumbling. No, what's the term? Failing to make ends meet. Wants Faba out because it'd be the best financially for the company.
Oh my gosh, Amphibia was nominated for an Emmy?
Cool.
Based. Let's fucking go.
Wants Faba out because it'd be the best financially for the company. Mallow is against Faba's release for personal reasons, but sees how stressed Lily is and eventually sides with Kiawe and Faba. All right. This isn't about what would make sense for the characters, guys. We're constantly got to be seeking the most drama. No, that's what we're doing. Yeah. Wait, who's the female villain that's only competent villain who's also brain to the villainy but had a good reason to be a villain the whole time?
The Nurse Joy and Officer Jenny side plot.
Yeah, and Nurse Joy is the one pushing this along.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Too much. Maybe. We can tweak that. All right, we got to figure out how other characters spin into this.
Sorry, I know I keep sidetracking, but I saw a tweet that was like, Dana Terrace being like, congrats to Amphibia, the Owl House, and Big City Greens. Like, I'm so proud of the shows for all their nominations in the Emmys. Amphibia was nominated for Outstanding Children's Animated Program. I don't even know what Big City Greens is, but you know what Owl House was nominated for?
What?
Its main title design.
Oof.
That's such like.
That's
I did it.
I think it's a good show. Like I think it like legitimately deserves some praise. It's very creative.
I know, but Amphibia is the only one of these like current shows that are like the man-children genre shows where they're ostensibly made for kids but only watched by adults. It is the only one of those out right now that I know of that does not have anything weird going on about it.
Okay.
But sorry, I'm just a little distracted. You know how I get.
All right, so Celine comes in. She's come back home. Like she's come back home. She was out and about. Or should we do this sort of like a weird retcon because if this is the anime universe, then Celine doesn't exist. So Celine needs to come in.
We can still put her in.
What I mean is like she should be like a newcomer. Like she's Celine from the games, but like this is her meeting everyone for the first time. Type deal.
Yeah. That's why she's gonna woo Lily.
Yeah. So technically the same character from the games, but this is her first time meeting everyone / coming to Alola. So okay, we need, all right, there's the main plot. Is like, okay, Lily will come in. How will Lily solve the problem?
I would continue this, but I really need to wrap things up and get going.
Okay, we can come back to this.
We can come back to this for sure. We are on the right track. Sorry, I got distracted.
We have 6 seasons to write, so I mean we have time. And don't worry, we'll run out of ideas at the 3rd season, and we'll keep going after that. Somehow. Celine comes back as Elio. Who's Elio?
Is the male protagonist.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, like, that was gonna be like it. Either Celine comes back as Elio or Elio comes back as Celine. Well, you see, Mallow is married to Kiwe.
Kiawe, yeah.
Kiawe. So it's not just a love triangle, it's a love dodecahedron.
Yes.
And that's how things
because
should
the
be.
more, as we all know from writing, more drama is better show.
Ooh. Okay. All right. So Mallow, seeing that there's obviously vibes between Lily and Celine, will actually start going after Celine in sort of like a "you can't steal my girl" kind of, you can't get in my way, bitch. And like that tension between them will erupt when they have a passionate makeout session and they sleep together for one night.
Which is totally for the drama and totally for the writing and not for anything else.
Yeah, it's literally just there for the drama of the situation of like, I can't believe we slept together.
Yeah, and the scene definitely isn't there for any sort of other type of appeal. But anyway, we need to wrap this up right now.
Thank you all so much for watching.
This
was
a lot of fun.
I'm sorry we got sidetracked by talking the politics of shows, and I'm sorry we got horribly demonetized. Remember that if you want to monetize this, you can please support the channel by going to my Patreon, and for $1 or more, you get access to the Team Frostbite Discord server, where I, Fatman Falling, Dashy Lee, and at some point again, Molly will be there, are regularly active, and we have a lot of fun talking with you guys and hanging out. Remember that Bad Fanfiction nights happen every single Friday at 10 p.m. At least that's the usual schedule we have for them. Sometimes there's a little left or right. You kind of skew a little bit. And tomorrow, me and Fatman should be doing Doki Doki Literature Club stream. I'm not sure. We'll see. But yes, thank you all so much for watching. And we'll catch you all